Hi guys, Joseph here. Today we're doing another Joseph car video, and today we're doing another video on my friend's 2004 Volvo V70. And today we're going to be replacing the cam belt. I'll be doing the cam belt and water pump. This is actually a new car I'm featuring on the channel. If you've never seen this car on the channel before, well, it is a 2004 Volvo V70 with the 2.5 litre low pressure turbo. So it is a turbo, this one. I think it's the first time I've ever introduced a turbo petrol on the channel. But anyway, this is the cam belt I bought. Just down here, I'm just going to grab it. I've gone for an INA timing belt kit. So it includes everything, including the at the top of the box. If you open the box, at the top it has got the well, what you would expect, a timing belt, new belt. Apparently I've been told this car has never had a cam belt in its entire life. So apparently I've been told this is the very first cam belt this car's ever had. No history of ever having a cam belt done. The other stuff in here is a new tensioner, and also a new idler pulley, and finally new water pump. Pull this one out for you as well. Oh, it comes in a bubble wrap. Yeah, it's a good idea to change these water pumps when doing the timing belt. I know people do skip it, but yes, it's personal choice. Here it is. Comes with all new bolts and all new pulley on it. Because the last thing you want is one of these letting go, and it could cause you to have bent valves. Yeah, this is definitely not a job for the novice. I'm going to tell you that one now. I've actually used this brand of timing belt before on the XC90. And at the very bottom is a sticker for timing belt info. I won't fill that in until I've done the belt. I'll stick that on last. So anyway, we'll put this back in the box. New tensioner in. But anyway, we'll put the belt back in the box. There you go, I've put all the belts all back in the box. And that is it. So yes, so if you're not confident with mechanical, or you've not had much, you really want to be careful doing a cam belt, because if you do get this wrong, you could send the pistons into the valves, and you don't want to do that. Yeah, so it is an interference engine we're dealing with. So anyway, guys, let's get down to the car right now. Right, guys, to start this cam belt job, I'm actually also at the same time, this is not a bad time to upgrade your reservoir, which I'm going to also do at the same time on this one. Since, yeah, this one is also leaking. It's also leaking down there. Common on these. So what we're going to do is start by getting the timing cover off. I'll start by putting the cross brace, so I'm going to pause for a minute. Right, guys, we're going to start by removing this cross brace. So 14mm to undo with a ratchet. I'll be lazy. I'll use a breaker bar to break this loose. Probably don't need a breaker bar. Oh, I did. I did. Need a breaker bar. And you're just going to repeat on the other side. I'm just going to go and undo the other side. Right, guys, now we're going to undo the engine mount. Never seen one of those dust covers before. I'll keep that, put that back on at the end. Remember rightly, that's a 15mm, and I think that's a 17mm spanner, so I'll go and grab the tools. Right guys, you meant to use a 19mm spanner. I'm going to cheat and use a just socket. There you go. Once that's quite loose, it just loosens off the rest of the way. There you go. And yeah, so don't lose that. Yeah, put that back on the end. Now that's all loose. Oh, I noticed something extra. I've never seen in one of these cars before. That power steering line is zip tied here, so I'll probably have to re-zip tie that at the end. I'll probably alright bother. You don't really have to, but maybe I should, since this ain't my vehicle. Personally, if this was mine, I probably wouldn't re-zip tie it. There you go. It doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to pause for a sec. And there you go. Then you just remove it the rest of the way. And once it's loose enough, you just remove the rest of the way by hand. Right. There you go. Don't lose those. I'll put them in a safe spot in a minute. This one appears to be a bit stuck for some whatever reason. Well, I'm just going to go and pause and do the other side. Now we've got all those bolts removed, this cross brace will pull right out of there. There'll be 2 Torx 30 screws here you'd have to remove, and that will expose a timing belt. I've actually done the spark plugs while the rest are removed. I've actually did the spark plugs on this as well. And once you remove that actually that belt doesn't actually look bad, but who knows how long it's been there. No history with this car, so we don't actually know when it was changed. Looks can sometimes be deceiving. It might look okay, but you never know with these things could just break, or a tensioner could fail, and that could cause catastrophic engine failure. Right guys, what I'm now going to do is push some of these reservoirs out of my way. The power steering one I'm going to just move for now. I'm changing this reservoir anyway, so it doesn't matter what happens to this reservoir. I just need it out of my way for now. Just lift it over the loop there. Just need to get it out of my way. I'm going to replace this reservoir anyway at the end. I've just got to keep this good while I work. I probably would have helped if I emptied it a bit. I am replacing this time belt, so it doesn't matter if I get it or don't get all on a time belt. doesn't matter with this one because I'm replacing it. Just allowing myself some room. Yeah, it figures that. Never been on much. Just leave that one alone, and I'll just try and squeeze in there with just a 1/4 inch deep 10. We need a 10mm socket to remove the timing cover. I'm just gonna pause and go and grab that. Right, I'm now gonna get in there with my 1/4 inch. That's tighten. Just gonna fit it in there. Right guys, it's a 10mm. The bolt isn't easy to see, so I'm not sure how easy you're going to use to see this. I hope it comes off. There we go. Talk about make your life easy. Not easy to get to things on these cars. Not easy. The D5 was a bit easier than this. I did the D5. I lost the footage to that video where I did a cam belt on one of these. The D5. I found the D5 cam belt a lot easier than this. The 2.4 non-turbo is no easier than this 2.5. It's the same. This is worse. I'm dealing with 2 variable valve timing solenoids on this one. I think the more VVT, the worse. And you can so see there's 2 of them on this. Because this is a 2.5 litre. Never a fan of turbos either. I'd much rather a non-turbo. There you go. Once you get that out, this timing cover should slot up. Oh boy. I was right about these twin VVT solenoids. Here it is, all exposed. Yeah, that's warm at the moment. But anyway, first what we're going to have to do is grab a... Oh, it looks like it's a Torx on this. I don't like that setup. I've got to find a T50, 260 Torx piece to remove the serpentine belt. Right guys, I've got my serpentine belt off. I had a job getting the T60, T55 in there. What I ended up using the T55 bit on a 10mm socket on a 1/4 inch drive to get that released. I've got it out, and look at the state of the serpentine belt. That belt is wasted. Look at that. I think I'm gonna have to advise another serpentine belt on this. Look at the state of that. Right guys, we're gonna start by taking the wheel off. I've put the car on axle stands, got everything undone up top. Now I've already cracked the wheel bolts loose and put it on stands. And now undo the 19mm socket and 19mm bolts. You can check if the wheel's frozen on. Make sure they're loose. There's one. I've deleted the locking wheel bolts on this one. Second bolt. Good. Yeah. Yeah, you just have to use a breaker bar to break them loose. And now the last, and then this will come off. Should come off, hopefully does. Hope this one ain't frozen on. It's looking loose, so it should. Feeling positive about this one. In theory, the wheel should come off. Let's see. Let's it out. Bit low on tread on that tyre. In my opinion, I'll say that tread on the low side. My opinion there. And there you go, guys. Now what we're going to have to do is undo those plastic nuts. I think they're 13mm. You have to be very careful of undoing these things. They're not the 10mm nuts. They're 10s. They shouldn't be very tight in there. These are normally a pain to undo. Probably should use a 1/4 inch 10. 1/4 inch, it should come off. And that actually looks a bit oily in here. Remove that metal plate. There you go. Let's get the second one out. A bit oily. Nearly off of that. There we go. We're off of that one. Now the metal plate will come right off. There you go. Now we've got that off. This should fold back. Yes, it does. You can fold it across that crease. Should fold across the crease. Yeah, it doesn't think I want to. I'll work that out in a sec. There we go. It should fold across that crease right there. It should fold. It probably hasn't been folded. Yeah. Okay, if you wait and that gets you to the crank pulley. I'm going to pause for a sec. Right guys, I've got the thing peeled back. That's a new serpentine belt I'm going to stick on at the end. And the timing marks. This is a twin VVT. I'm not sure how well you're going to see. But the timing mark is a very thin line. I'll try and... So right, that line there, you've got a line on that one. And you're going to have another one on the exhaust can. Once you don't... Things like that, you don't want to use that. You want to use that thin mark. Put an arrow to it. They're very hard to see. It looks like we're nearly up the top dead centre on that one. I'll go and grab a set of mould grips to grip that thing back on the crease. Right guys, we're going to now set our timing on the engine with a 30mm crank nut. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the engine over here. So yeah, this turns the engine. So what you're going to actually, might better to put a ratchet on this. Might work you better your favours. If you have a ratchet adapter, that'll... No, that's tighten. So yes, when you're... So now, what we're going to do is... Forward. Towards you. Yeah. That.
The other way.
So right, now... Actually, I'll put you on the small track. Yes, on. Right guys, I've just lined up. I thought I was filming, but it turned out we weren't. But right now, at the bottom, is we're going to look for the bottom crank marks. Actually, I need probably a light here, won't I? Another way you could eyeball this is check that the rivet is in the 12 o'clock position, I remember rightly, which it is, but I will still check for the marks to check they're lined up. If you can't see the marks, you're 180 degrees out. That spins twice the engine speed, so 2 rotations of that equals 1 rotation of the crankshaft. I'm going to grab my light and just look for my marks. Right guys, got the impact gun. You're going to need an impact, or you want a very powerful breaker bar if you don't. There we go. Off it comes. Might be a bit warm. Right, gonna get a small 10 off. Easy. Always. I might have to turn this engine to get the last 2 out. There you go. Here you go. Can I get the top ones? No. Right guys, I had to lose time in my engine to get this harmonic balancer off. Now, is it going to come off? Yeah, I'm going to have to go and give myself a mallet and try and bang this off. These normally are pretty stuck on there. So I'm going to have to go and grab myself a mallet. Right guys, I've got the harmonic balancer off. Here it is. That dowel pin shouldn't have come off with it, but it has. That really shouldn't have come, but it has, so we're just going to have to work out how that goes back on. That one was proper rock solid to that engine, and hammering it's not going to do you any good. Where my puller? I've just put it all. My granddad's put it away. Yeah, I ended up actually having to use a puller to pull it off, and it unfortunately has pulled the dowel pin out. And yes, we have lost timing of our engine. Before you comment, yes, I am aware of lost timing, so we're going to retime this engine. And now we'll, because once I said it, I just use the impact to pull it back off. This job isn't really possible without an impact, because unless you have a special tool to lock the engine against the subframe, if you haven't got that tool, you're not going to be able to do this job very well. So yeah, using common hand tools isn't always possible. Like with this one, it is not possible unless you have a massive bar. It isn't really possible, and I don't feel like buying that special tool from Volvo. But I'm now going to get my ratchet on here. What you do is just snug it back on there. So now, when you turn, the engine's going to turn. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get you at the top and I'll show you how to set your timing. Right guys, I just had to go and off and take a reference here. So for timing marks, so that's the intake. So what you need to do is line it up with these here. So that needs to line up. So that lines up. Let's check this one. sure. I'm going to give you a bit of light. I'm not sure how. So that tooth should line up. So that. So there's another tooth there which should. I'm trying to actually reference it myself. So I probably should have lifted this reservoirs out of the way. Because I've got to try and line it by eye. It looks like it lines up. If you're as little as a tooth out, this is catastrophic. It looks like it's lining up at the front. I will now for the crankshaft. It's quite easy. Once you get the harmonic balancer off, you'll see a long ridge. You've got to line it with the oil pump housing. So the oil pump, you'll see a notch that comes off the bottom of the oil pump. You'll see a long notch. I'll have to probably give you a bit of drawing here to try and explain it, because I can't get you in there very well. Once things look okay, I'm just double checking before I commit. Actually, I probably could do a coming forward a bit. So if you're not right, you've got to get this right. Because if this isn't right and you start this engine, you're going to have valve on piston contact, and that is not going to be good. So yeah, we're slightly off. Only need to move a hair. There you go, just move it a hair. Now we're lining up better. Now it's a bit better. Now we should line up. I'm just going to confirm all this. Now I'm going to pause for a sec. Right guys, I'm now going to undo the tensioner. Now I've got my timing set right. It's a 12mm for the tensioner. I will see how best I can film. Not sure what sort of view you're going to get, because I've got to get in here and budge this. Yes, and we're doing brake pads on this at the same time. What I'm going to have to do is just snap the mount here, and I'm going to have to just get in there and undo this. Probably could have used an extendable here. Once it's loose, once it starts loosening, the belt tension will reduce in a minute. There we go. Yeah, if you look, the ear has already gone back. So the temperature setting, belt tension has. We're not loose on the belt yet. Yeah, I'm going to need to take this out. Yeah, so once you do that, you can take your timing top cover off, the timing cover out. Get this one loose. So once you're loose, it think you push it away. Yeah, so you push the key away to loosen belt tension. So yeah, take note of how it roots, because this is about to come off. So remember that, and you're about to pull the belt off. So what you do, you push the belt towards the back, and that loosens the belt tension. You can slip it off. Then there you go. Here comes off our old timing belt. Here it comes. There we go. We're committed now. So once you get it off at the top, you might have to come down and try and grab it from the bottom. And once you've got it pulled, you can lift the belt right out of position. There it is. Here's our old timing belt. It didn't look bad. When you pull that, you can see some cracks, micro cracks in this belt. So when you open it, you can see micro cracks. That's not good. So this belt is knackered. This is worn. But anyway, we're going to remove the tensioner as well. We're replacing this tensioner as well. But anyway, try not to remove your timing gears. These are free. I think this engine's a bit out of time, to be honest, but I'll have to retime that afterwards. Yeah, be careful not to move the gear. Yeah, don't move them. So you might a little bit. We'll have to redo that at the end. These are VVT hubs. Try not to move them. Keep them in a forward position. Yeah, do not turn these backwards and put the belt on, because you're going to lose compression once you start this. You're going to lose compression. Yeah, these might move back and forth like that. So this is the same. Keep them in a forward position. I think I have lost timing on this now. Anyway, we get our tension bolt on this. I think I need a smaller tensioner. Yeah. So there we go. Again, back in with a different tool. It's a thermostatic. Yeah, make sure you take a photo before you take all this stuff off. I've already done my reference. Yeah, don't drop your tools down the back. Yeah, actually, yeah, make sure you do line it back up in the block. You've got very little space to work. Right guys, lost footage of where this come off the vehicle. Camera battery died, but this tensioner is not good. Listen to that. Gritty. Tensioners are letting go. This has got no history of ever having a cam belt done, so this is a perfect time to do it. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Actually, what we do is we're now going to do, it doesn't look like it's come with a bolt, but this is our new tensioner. So what you do, make sure you do line that up with a groove in the block of where it's mounted, and I'm going to actually have to pause and mount this, then I'll show you what once we're done. Right guys, now we're going to get to the idler pulley. There's 2 bolts. This is the easy bolt. We're going to go for the difficult bolt first. So I'm going to go for difficult. You're going to have to do it one way or another. Let's do it first. And there you go. And get that broken loose. Now we'll break loose the top one. Get that off. What I'll do, I'll try and fish out the difficult one first. There we go. There's one bolt out for the idler pulley. Let's now get the second. A bit oily, these bolts. Simply indicates there is a crank seal leak on this vehicle. Let's get the next crank idler pulley bolt out. I think there is a few differentiations in this. There you go, once you get the last one out, idler pulley comes right out. Let's see the idler pulley. That's knackered. That deserves about to go as well. This ain't gonna last much longer. This belt actually isn't terrible, but there are a few cracks, which indicates it's relatively warm. This ain't gonna last another 100,000. If you just crack it, you can see all the hairline cracks in that. I think that would have went very soon. This all would have went. It's still worn. That's that. Now I'm gonna go and grab my new idler pulley. Right guys, let's now put the new idler pulley in. I'm gonna get the top bolt inserted. What we're gonna do is start to thread this idler. The precisions, I'm not sure how well you're going to get a film of this, so I might have to take you right out of the way. Hopefully you can still see. I'll have to pause here. Right guys, got the tensioner started, and now we're gonna finish it on there. Yeah, what I'm gonna sort of do is the Now I'm a bit low on memory, guys, so what I'm going to do here is for now I'm going to actually clear my memory, but I'll try and... I've got 47 minutes recording time left. It is low. Probably isn't really. You are feeling what you're doing, guys, here, so sorry. Hopefully you think you probably can see it a bit better than I can, because all I can see is the top of a turret while doing this job. So yeah, so that we can permanently install that. You see, get it snug. That's probably enough. That's it. That's all completed. So now I'm going to pause here. Right, guys, it's the next day, and last night I have taken a bit more of. I've actually changed the crank seal down here because it was leaking. So the VVT hubs are not actually leaking. I know it looks it, but it's not actually that it's leaking. But now what we're going to do now is take off the water pump down there, the 10mm bolts, and I'll try and start pulling it out. What I'm going to do is loosen those to get rid of that water pump down there. Who knows, and this, I think it's never had a new cam belt. It's like, if it's never had a cam belt, it's probably never had a water pump change. I'm actually feeling for this all day. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause until I've cracked them all loose. Right, guys, I've just got the water pump free. Just give the water pump pulley a good tug, and it's just gushed all the water out. I had a catch can, missed the catch can, but honestly, and yes, I'm going to have to strain that coolant, because I think I'm going to reuse the same coolant, so that needs straining. Bit of black stuff in that, so it'll have to be strained. So that's what we're going to have to do with that. But anyway, that's it. A bit messy, but there you go. And now what you can do, we can just loosen those 12mm right off now until there it comes out, and then we'll pull the water pump out. And then I'm going to show you once I get to the last bolt, and I'll pull it off. Right, guys, to make your life easy, it's better to lift both your reservoirs out of the way, and that gives you way clearer access to your water pump. I tried not to remove it. Way clearer access. That is a lot better. I'm going to pause until I get to the last bolt on that. Right, guys, we're on to the last bolt. Here we go. And the last bolt of the water pump. Maybe go and check it. So yeah, once it's loose, you can just loosen it. The bottom one's the worst one to get to, in my opinion. Here we go. You just gotta be patient. Once that last bolt is out, the water pump should pull off. Am I missing a bolt? Have I not removed the bolt? No. Here we go. There it is. I'm now going to pause here. Right, just cleaned the old gasket material off with a razor blade. Now we're going to go and fit on the new water pump. I'm not sure how well you're going to see, but I just need to mount this here. There we go. I'm going to open the new packet, the new water pump. How do you keep the gasket on? How do you keep the gasket on? Right guys, I've got the water pump all secured, all snugged all the bolts. I've used all the new supplied bolts. I have put the time belt sticker on. I've done it a bit early, but anyway. That's the mileage that the car has currently. Very low in my opinion. I find that a bit low miles in my opinion. I'm seeing higher miles than that, but anyway guys, that's that. Right guys, I've got the new timing belt fitted. All I did to get it on there, you use that temperature indicator lever, you push it all the way left and it gives you enough slack to slip the belt on and start the crank first. I'm looking at the timing marks, it looks like I may have got this on the first try. Don't be surprised if you don't get it on the first try. I think we're going to turn this over by hand anyway. Yeah, it looks like we're lined up at the bottom as well. I think we are. Well now, what we're going to try and do is now set the bolt tension. I think that tension is snug. I'll get a bolt down there and I'll start snugging up the tensioner. Right guys, I've got the timing belt back on and I've got tensioner set. I've got it set to 70 Fahrenheit, which is in the middle. For this one, you actually set the Allen key to the 2 o'clock position. If you have an older car, it's the 7 o'clock position. But anyway, we're all correct on that. So what you do, once you do that, I've done 2 revolutions of this engine by turning it over by hand. I'm getting no resistance, so timing's correct. Yeah, before you start putting your harmonic balancer back on. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, it's been a couple of days. I was supplied the wrong serpentine belt. I just thought all these cars are the same, so I just said, yeah, I need a serpentine belt. But it turned out I was given one that was too short. But now I've gone for it. I've got a Dayco belt. Not heard anything bad about Dayco. Probably better to have the writing though on the outside. Yeah, so I'm gonna root all that down. Yeah, to take note of your routing. Yeah, I'm actually gonna pause and just root this on. The tensioner is on the a T60. If you have an old car, it might be a 14mm right in the centre of the pulley on some of these. Anyway, for this one, it's a Torque 60, so that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, I've just had this engine started. Serpentine belt's running smoothly. Yeah, whatever you do, make sure you get the longer belt, don't get the shorter belt. There is 2 different lengths for this car, and generally you use the longer belt. This car, The tensioner obviously is a bit different. You turn that at the 2 o'clock, considering this one being an 04. The silver one is an 02, and that would go in the 7 o'clock position when you set the tensioner. So the tensioner on that's different to what it is on this one. Similar engine, but slightly different tensioner setting. But even then, it sometimes probably does depend on what tensioner you're installing as well. So it probably does have dependence on that. But anyway, what we're going to do is start getting all our covers back on. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get the other one on, because I actually took this pipe off to get it on there. I'm going to try not to take turbo tube back off. We'll try and fit it with it on there. Anyway, I'm going to go and grab my covers. Right guys, let's put our covers back on. I think it should squeeze under here. I'm going to try not to take this cover off. I hope it goes on. I don't fancy taking that off. I assume if I'm clever enough, I could probably squeeze this through. Right guys, got the covers back on. Yeah, I had to lift the turbo tube up a little bit. But now what we're going to do is refit the timing cover. That sort of aims around the crankshaft. Okay, get this out of the way for a second. Right guys, once you've got it sort of pushed into place, you have to give it a good push down and then it will slot in place. Yeah, now you can push all your reservoirs all back into place now. Yeah, I've actually upgraded my reservoir, so it's going to be a bit harder for me than it would be to if you had an older reservoir. Let's slot that in. There we go. Once that's in place, now the last thing to put on is the full timing cover. Then we're going to put the cross brace back on. Here we go. Now I'm going to pause and just grab my T30. Right guys, now we're going to put the cross brace back on. There we go. I'm going to start them all by hand. Make sure they don't cross thread. Start that. Start these two and going. I'll go down and look on the other side. There you go. Now, the last. Fine, it will go on top engine mount. Yeah, what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna go and snuggle that off camera, so I'm a bit low on memory, so I'm gonna pause here. Right guys, just got the car back on the ground. Now what we're gonna do is torque the wheel bolts to 140 Newton meters or 103 foot-pounds. Double check. Here we go. Now I'm going to pause here. Right guys, we're going to end off this video and looking back at my footage, I figured to have forgot to film myself putting the harmonic balancer back on. But anyway, for the big crank nut, when you put it on there, what you do is I have a 450 Newton meter impact gun. I just whammed it right in and I ran the gun right till it couldn't tighten it any further. I basically whammed it up 450 Newton meters. Probably is slightly tighter than it should be, but at least it ain't gonna come off. And for the 4 bolts, I just snugged them up with a ratchet. Yeah, I think it's 200 foot-pounds is the proper torque spec for it, but I don't have a bar to hold the engine, and I don't have a torque wrench that goes up that high either, so I just whammed it in. I've done it on my V70 and it comes back off no problem, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, and also I did forgot to film myself putting the metal plate back on. And also the car isn't here to re-show the footage. The car is actually not here. It's gone back to my friends. The car's gone. So, but anyway, the car itself is going okay. It's quicker than my 2.4 non-turbo, no surprises there. Well, that's got 210 horsepower, that thing, so it's quite a bit quicker. But anyway guys, I hope you found this video helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up as that helps you to recommend my content. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content like this. Share this video with your family and your friends and have a nice day.